Grand Canyon, a chasm of breathtaking beauty carved by the hands of time, 277 miles long and over a mile deep. So vast it creates its own climate and weather, this marvel of nature has attracted millions from around the globe for centuries, but less than 1% of its visitors ever reach the bottom. With temperatures repeatedly soaring as high as 120 degrees, it's no wonder far less people have hiked the entire canyon than have climbed Mount Everest. I want you to imagine you are tasked with making this 15-mile, 15-hour journey to the bottom and back in a single day, an action strongly discouraged by the Park Service with warning signs all over the trail advising against.
Now imagine doing it as horribly prepared as possible, and what you get probably won't be much worse than how I went into this, man, on this day exactly 1 year ago. It is actually laughable how ignorant I was going into this, dude, resulting in the most beautiful and the most miserable hiking experience of my life. So I thought for the first anniversary of this traumatic experience, I'd give you guys the full rundown so we can laugh at myself and show you how not to hike the Grand Canyon. Oh, dang, check out that sunset. Hold up. This is my surroundings, by the way. Beautiful. You can see the lake down there. Hopefully I can edit it all together in time. This is very last minute. I'm rushing, as you can probably tell. So to give some background for those unfamiliar, this took place right at the start of a Rocky Mountain ecology course I took last summer. We traveled all the way from the Grand Canyon up to Yellowstone, climbing mountains and hitting up other various national parks and landmarks along the way. So to kick things off for our first major activity, Dr. Foster thought it'd be a great idea to wake up at 4 in the morning, which was a pretty standard time to wake up on this trip, and hike down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and back out in one day, which apparently is a big no-no.
So for starters, let's just go over everything bad stacked against me from the get-go, much of which was completely my fault and could have easily been avoided if I hadn't underestimated the canyon so bad. So 3 weeks prior, my ankle still looked like this. It was by far the worst sprain I've ever had or seen. Everyone thought it was broken for sure ski. Whole lower leg was swollen. My ankle swelled up like a grapefruit, but when I got an x-ray, no broken bones as always, still never broken one somehow. What can I say? My skeleton must be made of steel. There was some internal bleeding though, as you can see.
So not too bad, that's where the blood's supposed to be.
I didn't even get my boot off until the week of my flight, all from that silly little youth retreat rope swinging incident. This video's gonna be absurd. Second, when I got up before sunrise, it was only 40 degrees out, so I got bundled up in black pants, a thick long sleeve shirt, heavy sweatshirt, and a rain jacket, not realizing that the Grand Canyon is the world's largest oven and the temperature would increase nearly threefold. Third, it ended up turning into the hottest day of that year so far. When we reached Phantom Ranch at the bottom, that 40 degrees now exceeded 100. On top of that, it was straight sunny from sunup to sundown. There were some clouds in the afternoon, but only on the opposite side of the sky as the sun, so they just existed to tease us. Fourth, my backpack was way too heavy. At least 30 pounds or so, chocked full of unnecessary stuff like camera equipment, survival gear.
2 first aid kits for some reason, because I'm always attracting hurt. But in all that, as I typically do, I didn't bring enough water. I always forget the water, man. I had another bottle too, and I just thought I didn't need it. It wasn't necessary. I left it in my tent. But I'm built like a camel. I can usually stay hydrated off very little water. I usually don't even bring any with me on small hikes and bike rides and stuff. I brought some today because Biscuit needs it, but I know it's a bad habit. I remember seeing Austin just down a bottle about halfway down the canyon, and I was just like, oh, that was smart to bring more in one bottle. How many did you bring? It was like 3 or 5 or something, I don't know. And then Nathan chimes in, he's like, how much did you bring? And I whip out my single bottle. I'm like, here it is, you're looking at it. Everyone just stares at me like, dude, you're gonna die.
Also, there were only 2 working water stops, by the way, one at the bottom and one halfway back up. These 5 things led to a whole slew of other consequences, including more ankle injuries leading to tripping and falling, dehydration, heat exhaustion and heat stroke, and water contamination, causing nausea, fever, dizziness, and hallucination. Yeah, more on that later. With that being out of the way, let's get into this already.
Morning, y'alls. Coming at you live from the Grand Canyon, 6 a.m. And today we have a very bad idea to hike all the way to the bottom of it and back out. Which might not seem like much, but that's a 15-hour hike. It's gonna be dark by the time we're done. And it's 6 a.m. like I said earlier, so we're hiking all day. Crazy.
In front of a runaway train, just to feel alive again, pushing forward through the night, aching just to blur aside. It's so far away. It's so far away.
Yeah! I'm the king of the world!
Cold wind blows into the skin.
Update. I already have a huge blister. This isn't good.
Can't believe the state you're in. It's so far away. It's so far away. Who are you trying to impress? Steadily creating mess.
He's a beaut.
Step in front of the runaway train, just to feel alive.
All these switchbacks just have to go down. Yeesh. Ah, I hate these stairs. There's the cave we were just at, way up there. There's the Colorado River.
Wow.
This is crazy looking. I feel like I'm on another planet. Holy smokes. Big freaking cliff. Yep. I'm good. Almost just twisted the other ankle.
Step in front of a runaway train, just to feel alive again. Pushing forward.
Yeah, you said it. Cool looking rocks.
Just above the sight.
Oh,
I mean, like, that's the silver bridge right there, right?
Just above the sight.
into the shade we go. Oh, it's turning more and more into an oven the deeper you get down here, so the shade is always a welcome treat.
Will make you fall.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Nice and shaded.
Refreshing, huh? Yeah, it's like we're entering a mine tunnel. This is sick. How far back does it
We
go?
are in the middle. No, it's still in the middle.
There's the bridge.
So I thought it was 101 degrees when we reached the bottom, but earlier this semester I was cultivating plants with Sam and this other guy, and we were regaling the story to this dude. And when I said it was 101, Sam was all like, "No dude, it was 115. Let's just go with Sam's answer because that sounds cooler. Or should I say hotter? And he remembers this better than I do, especially these upcoming parts. A lot of the story has been gathered from the accounts of my peers because everything could blur to me.
Bridge jumping, I1. Let's go. We finally go up. There it goes. I didn't even get to show off its bright blue belly. Home stretch, baby. It's so freaking hot. I'm like lapsing in and out of consciousness right now. That's the last of my water. I only brought one bottle. Oh, that feels so good. That water is freezing. And for once, I'm thankful for it. Look who decided to show up. Bro, we beat you like 10 minutes. Oh, where's the water source?
Back there, about 200 yards.
Really? How about that?
Oh my gosh. This is the only water source from here to the start at the South Rim. And I only brought one bottle. That was the worst mistake I've ever made.
Like 7 miles. That's good. We're gonna drink like 5 bottles of this. And now we still gotta make it all the way out. That's the hard part, going up. And so the journey continues. Done 7.4 miles now. We got another 7 to go. This time, uphill. That's not gonna be fun. Beautiful mountains though. I guess they're not even mountains, this is a canyon. This hike definitely is not for anyone afraid of heights. More rafters. Take me away, please. At least this is soft.
Alright, get ready for some hefty commentary here, because I was going through it and didn't really have the strength to explain everything I was battling. This is where I made my second biggest oopsie. Everyone started washing their faces to cool off at the stream crossing, and I thought they were taking sips from it, so I went to do the same to conserve my water. Dr. Foster quickly stopped me, but I already drank a handful, which was all it took for me to start feeling the effects 2 hours later. It was probably full of mule poop, because immediately after we passed this convoy, but before I got sick, we had another serious problem to deal with. Me and 3 or 4 other girls started simultaneously experiencing all the symptoms of extreme heat exhaustion. Our breath became very labored, my vision was going blurry. Thank God someone said something because I didn't want to be the one. I would have marched to my death. I get like social anxiety from stuff like that, but I was probably within 30 seconds of passing out. So we all sat down while a few people went ahead to scout for a shaded spot, and the Lord provided. We struck the shade jackpot. Just 100 feet up trail, there was a deep, cool, abandoned mine across the creek, which I don't know who the frick was mining in the Grand Canyon, but I crawled straight to the back and collapsed. We rested there for 45 minutes while the others helped cool us down with extra water and damp washcloths from the creek. Once we were well rested, we kept pushing forward, and I don't know about everyone else, but to be honest, like 10 minutes after continuing, I kinda wasn't doing so hot again, but I didn't want to say anything because what good would it do? We had to keep our pace if we were going to make it out before midnight. After lunch, my condition started to really deteriorate, and I started experiencing a high fever. Whenever we got a big shaded cliff, we would rest for like 20 minutes, and I'd pass out and have some pretty trippy dreams. Dr. Foster also started implementing this technique to get up the steep cliffs called caterpillaring, where the back person moves to the front and stays until everyone cycles through, and they're in the back again and repeats this process, which worked great for our training in Pennsylvania, but standing still exposed to the heat and the sun was only drawing out my suffering. It wasn't doing me any favors under these conditions. Once we arrived at the second Mars stop, I drank another gallon and then instantly passed out laying against a rocky tree stump. There was a rattlesnake in the rocks right next to me, but I couldn't be bothered, and he was just chilling. I think we stayed there the longest, felt like an hour, and then before we left, I proposed an idea to Foster to split up the group. Me and a few others doing strong would go ahead and march in repeated 10-minute intervals with 5-minute breaks in between and adjust accordingly, while the rest could continue slowly caterpillaring. And it actually worked really well, but during one of our stops I went to get my camera out to capture the beautiful glowing cliffs, and that's when I realized I lost it. Caleb offered to run down and search for it and regroup with the others to see if they found it, which unfortunately was nowhere to be seen, but I couldn't let it go unrecognized. Caleb, I don't know how you still had the energy for that, dude, but you're a real one. On our way up the last set of cliffs, I discovered a good breathing technique, and through the nose 4 steps, out through the mouth 4 steps to help keep a steady pace, and as the temperature went down with the sun, I slowly started regaining my energy and rode that surge all the way to our next checkpoint, the 3-mile rest house halfway up the cliff, where Austin discovered another thing to annoy Sam with while we waited for the caterpillars to catch up.
Do one more time.
Crazy. Oh my god.
Austin, shut up.
No, that's freaking awesome.
Man, I keep thinking we're almost done, and then I see the highest peak. I'm like, dude, that's still so far to go yet. Yeah, we've come pretty dang far. Oh boy, this is steep. Yeah. Okay. Rest here a bit.
Oh, I'm going red.
Oh, someone's got to
Red
take a
dot.
picture. This is great.
Dude, that's the coolest thing ever. Walking
that's
right
right.
through a stone arch.
I thought it was longer than that.
That's still pretty neat. Yeah, Coyote Peterson did get that.
And it was like, it was the sickest
That is a
I've ever been.
giant centipede. Another cave. I like these.
Up until this point, it seemed I had mostly recovered from my illness, apart from still passing out and having trippy fever dreams every time we stopped to rest for more than 10 minutes. But right at the final push, my fever returned with a vengeance for a second wave. My breathing at this point was so labored and dry it sounded like I was on death's doorstep. I don't remember much, but the others say apparently at one point I nearly stumbled off the cliff and they had to catch me from falling to my death. That I honestly don't remember at all.
I'm getting sent. Oh my god! Oh my god!
We made it.
You got this.
Final push, final push.
I can get the ground.
I couldn't go over.
I can do it. We're right. You guys are freaking safe.
I don't feel too good.
Once we reached the top, finally, we had a 15-minute wait until the bus could arrive to pick us up, to which I took another fever dream-strewn nap, of course, and when I woke up, I was not feeling good, yos. I just ran, crouched down in the bushes, and puked my guts out for like 3 minutes straight, dude. And later that night, Adam, I guess he's a nursing major, was nice enough to give me a checkup in my tent. And then over the course of that night, I woke up to pee like 3 times. I guess that was my body's way of flushing whatever I had in my system out, because the next morning, I woke up feeling fine and dandy, dude. We were back on the road to Mesa Verde the very next morning and then did some more intensive hiking to continue off with what was probably, honestly, the greatest trip of my life. We got to experience so much, and I'm just so thankful as a part of it.
Also, my camera wasn't the only valuable I lost. I also lost my wallet with all my money and IDs. Thankfully, this story has a happy ending. My wallet was found in the abandoned mine by another hiker taking shelter, and a camera was also found by a ranger all the way back in Phantom Ranch. So I was losing it even before I took a drink from the toxic Grand Canyon Kool-Aid and went all delirious. So embarrassing. But thankfully, they were able to ship my wallet to our last camping site so I could get through the airport, and my camera was sent home where a police officer delivered it to my mom. Both were very confused on the situation.
But yeah, not my proudest hike. The only thing I was proud of is I managed to carry myself out of there, even going through all of that, and I still did it without a chopper. We saw plenty of heli rescues. It was the hottest day of that year so far. People were dying, but I managed to go the distance and carry myself out of there. But not on my own. I had a bunch of radical Messiah students backing me up the whole way. Thank you guys. To all of you that supported me, I'll try and tag y'all. I know I was probably really annoying to put up with. I felt really bad, but you didn't leave me down there. Thanks for that. You know, I was probably pretty annoying that whole trip. Every day we were just surrounded by unmatched beauty, epic wildlife encounters. I could not contain my excitement. I was like a kid in a candy shop. So, to anyone I may have irritated, I'm sorry. But that's pretty much that. We're gonna get on out of here before it gets pitch black out here. One last look at the view. Beautiful or what?